So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanted a theme song short, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. CrazyCatLady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair educational for and entertainment purpose. Blade, it's like it's all they did. Well, those years ago. See? No, I don't want to do any more of it.
Hi everyone, Martha here. So, time for me to test myself at history of a place I've never been, and I don't know if I will be, England. And a place that none of us will be, ancient England. So, this show, My Lady Jane, is about what if Lady Jane survived or hanged. Now, let me explain to you before I get to the show what this show is reference. I like how, the opening of this show so much because it explained so well what they're doing and even though there's parts of it I don't like, I do like the art in this so much. I like the fact they keep on showing pictures of Henry VIII and stuff like and all of Henry VIII's wives. That I love. And I love the references in this show, man. And I love the fact that I knew most of everybody here in the show, and that's what I mostly loved. So, even though I find this show absolutely ridiculous in the best way possible, I think it's good because how much it references history, even though this show would never happen in real life. So let's begin with what is going on in this show. Who is Lady Jane Grey? Lady Jane Grey was Queen of England for 9 days, and she's the cousin of King Edward VI, and of Mary I and Elizabeth I. She is the cousin of them through their, because she's the granddaughter of the granddaughter of Henry VIII's sister, his younger sister. The one that's not, because the one who takes over for after Elizabeth dies in real life is James I. She is not from his bloodline. She is from his other sister, because he has two sisters that made it to adulthood. He has Margaret and Mary. Margaret was married to a king of Scots, while Mary was married to a king of France. Not for very long, because how old she was when she married him and how old he was. So still, yeah. So this is a granddaughter, Henry VIII's grand niece, that he makes into a queen for 9 days. Now, he skipped over his sisters because those three siblings did not like each other, and it has more to do with what their dad did to these three siblings and making them pretty much pair against each other throughout their lives. And the fact that Edward was made to think that his sisters were not legitimate for most of his life is why. Because I understand why he didn't make Mary into one, but it always confuses me, why did he not do it for Elizabeth? Because he could have just skipped her, but he went. It's mostly because these two have been treated illegitimate for a long time, because Mary's mom was married to Catherine, married Arthur, Henry's older brother, and that's why he was able to get a divorce for her. Anne Boleyn, I don't believe that she was disloyal to Henry, but we will never know. But that's the reason why she got that's why she was beheaded. So since both of them are still illegitimate, and even though you think right before he died he did make them back to it, but I don't know. You just never understand him, and the fact that he was dying because he was a teenager who had tuberculosis. So yeah. So this show takes place during the time of the short period of the time that Jane was queen. Now, this is 100% fictional because the fact that they bring a folklore animal into this that is British that I did not even know exist. I know that they believe in like transform animals, but I did not know there was an actual word for it, Ethian. So let me see what is Ethian before I continue. It's basically what a bunch of fairies that characters I know British believe in a lot of folklore, so a lot of most Ethiopian them in Europe believe in folklore stuff. It's not just British, Ireland does, Scottish does, so most of that part of Europe does. Like every single country has their own folklore, and so that's what they're mostly copying here. And I can totally see what they're doing here, because what I think it's a way of them to like get around what Mary does in real life with all those people that she killed. I think it's a way to get around that, because that you realize the people that they pick in their family to be one, man. Because the fact that they make Edward a possible one in here, they make at the very end of the show we see Elizabeth one. So I just think it's Mary did not like Elizabeth at all during her life. And I know she probably didn't like Edward either. So, how do they get around the fact that Edward has tuberculosis in real life? Well, they make it look like she is poisoning she's poisoning Edward, and that's how they get around of him having tuberculosis. And I can totally see her do this. I would not put it past her to do this to her own little brother, her own half brother, but still, I would not put it past her, because the fact that that was a twist, because they did not say tuberculosis at all in this this show. They kept on saying like other words like, and I like how they the weird doctor was in this show. It was just so funny. Like you can totally believe that they would believe that, because they put mud on cuts like in here, because Jane has like a knife thrown at her in one scene, and it cuts her little bit of her neck. And what does the doctor do in this? Puts mud on it. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. So yeah, so this we see her marry in the show Dudley, who she does marry in real life. Jane in real life does marry where is he? Lord Guilford Dudley in real life. And even though he's not in here, they do reference Prince Philip of Spain, who marries in real life. So yeah, even though he's not in here, they like at the very end of the show, he sends her a letter, stuff like. So yeah. Now it's so weird that they made one of the bad guys in here Lord Seymour, because I'm pretty sure that is Edward's uncle in real life. Because Jane Seymour is Edward's mom. So I find it so weird that they made his uncle accomplice with Mary, and the fact that he would actually hit on her. And I don't know that much about the Seymours as I do about the Boleyns. So I don't know if he would do that. None of us do, so it's fine. And just found it weird. So yeah, because since how young he ruled, he would have had to have somebody help rule him, since he's a teenager when he was ruling. For the short amount of time he was ruling. So we have a dog that is Edward's dog, and for a little bit of time, when he's thought of his dead in the show comes Elizabeth's dog. I'm calling her Elizabeth because I find them calling her Bess in this show weird. I don't like it. I don't get why they just can't call her Elizabeth. So I'm not ever calling her Bess. So yeah, I do like how gross they make Mary in this show, because the fact that she doesn't even like bathing. So I found that funny. So they want to outlaw atheism. They made Dudley a character who cannot control it. He's a horse, and the fact that at the very end of the show they have have Jane ride them, because they do show her in the Tower of London, where she actually was before she died in real life, and before they and they do show her about to get beheaded and her practicing. And they need a lot of the people who were also in the Tower of London who were there. And I like the fact that they brought up their grandmother on the dad's side, because this is their great grandma, who would be Henry VIII's grandma. What's her name? So they make it where Margaret Beaufort is like the leader of the atheists, this is because of Henry VIII. Henry VII was actually snuck into back into the country because there was a war going on, the Wars of the Roses, and the way that war ended with Henry VII killing Edward III. So I did like the fact that they referenced that part, and I also like the fact they brought up Arthur, because I do like when they reference the old stuff. And they also during the Tower of London scene, they named a lot of the people, or a lot of the women who were beheaded there. Like they mentioned Catherine Howard, Henry VIII's fifth wife. They mentioned Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's second wife, and a bunch of other ones I did not know that are not his wife, but they were beheaded there. I kept on wondering, are they going to mention Edward V and his brother Richard, who were also in the Tower of London? They didn't. I was wanting them to, but that was like so far in the back, they really didn't have to. So yeah. So the way they end this show in this season, with Jane escaping with Dudley riding him, and Mary still in power, we find out that Elizabeth can turn into a fox, and Edward's still alive thanks to his great grandma. And they reference the fact that Mary might marry Philip, and they have Dudley's brother standing with Jane's mom. And I do mostly like, I think the boys have a good character development, mostly like Dudley does, because he thinks that he killed his mom when he turned into a horse the first time, but he learned that it was by accident. That's what his dad was, and his dad was trying to say sorry for sending him away and be ashamed of him. And even though it was this is technically, it's both it's Dudley's and his and Jane's mom's fault happened here. So I did like, what I mostly likes the narration. It was very funny. It reminded me a lot of The Princess Bride and like Men in Tights. That's what kind of this show will remind me of a lot of those kind of things that made fun of stuff, and I miss those type of movies, and that's why I liked about this, because we don't really have those many movies nowadays that make fun of other stuff. And it kind of also remind me of A Knight's Tale in a way, because the fact they kept having modern music being played in olden times, when they literally had, during that movie, We Will Rock You, and they had the king literally rocking out to it. So that's what this whole entire show remind me of that scene. So yeah, and they lack the fact that they mentioned the guys that did that weird version of Cinderella, Rogerson and Hammerstein in here. I found funny. The narrator mentioned that. So I'm not gonna. I didn't bring up everything, but I think the show was pretty good. I mean, I can excuse a lot of the things in here because this is supposed to be a fictional telling of this ancient thing in history that none of us in real life never wish happened to a poor girl, or because Jane did not deserve what happened to her in real life. Really, none of the people that Mary killed deserved what happened to them. None of them did. Okay, that time in life was really, really a bad time in history for England, and every country has had that happen, has had a hard time like that, but that time in England was really hard and really terrible. So yeah, I did not mind them making fun of that time period, because I think everybody does. But it's sad. So I do want to watch what season 2 is, and I thought they were only going to do like one season, but the way they end it, they have to do a second season. So yeah. So I'm probably gonna give this one like a 7 out. I'll do a 7 out of 10. So I'll see you guys later. Like, favorite, and subscribe, and let me know how good I did with my history of British history, coming from an American, but I do have British blood in me. So I'll see you guys later. Like, favorite, subscribe, and bye bye.